You're already using a theme in your Word documents even if you don't know it. The default Office theme is where this color palette comes from. Also your theme fonts. And last but not least, shape styles. How are themes different from styles? Well, styles actually pull from the theme to give you different combinations to choose from, like coordinated titles and headings. Themes are what determine the overall look, making it possible to change the tone of your document entirely. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go to the Page Layout tab, Themes, and then mouse over for a preview. As you can see, the styles and theme elements I've used are changing, including typeface, color, even the clip art I edited using the theme color palette. This is one of my favorites. Keep in mind, applying a different theme will only work if you take advantage of what they have to offer, including theme fonts, colors, and shape styles. Other colors and fonts that you've chosen yourself won't reflect the change. Let's say you like the fonts from one theme, but the color scheme from another. You can actually mix and match themes to customize your document. To change the color scheme, click the icon here and either choose from the list or go to Create New Theme Colors to create something of your own. I happen to like the colors from this theme here just the way they are. If changing the font is more what you had in mind, click the icon just below the color palette. Once again, you can create something new or choose from the list. Last, this little icon lets you swap out the shape style. Some themes even have a picture or a pattern for the fill color, like this one. I think I want something brighter, like this. I actually like this theme a lot. It's different, it's fun. I'm going to go ahead and save it so I can use it again. All you have to do is go to Themes, Save Current Theme, and give it a name. All set! Now I can apply my theme to any of my other documents. Themes are such a great way to experiment with color, design, and the overall look and feel of your document. With so many ways to customize, you can really make it your own. Different fonts, colors, and formatting give each of your documents their own style. Word has a great feature called Styles, in fact, that can help you achieve a more professional look and try on different looks at the click of a button. How does it work? Start by selecting or just placing your cursor next to a line of text, then go to the Styles group. Right now I'm using Normal, but I can hover over some of the other styles to see a preview of what they look like. For the full list, click the arrow here. And this being the title of my document, I really think title looks the best. For the next line of text, I'm going to use subtitle. And last, I'd like to choose a heading. Let's go with heading 1. I think this looks great, but believe it or not, there's more than one style set to choose from. This is just the default. Each style set contains a unique combination of titles, headings, and text that you can change to and from instantly. Just go to Change Styles, Style Set, and mouse over each one to see what they look like. How about Elegant? I really do like this, but I think the title's a little too big. It's getting covered up by the picture on the right. To modify a style, all you have to do is find it in the Styles group, right-click, then Modify. You can give it a new title if you want, but I'm just going to change the font size from 36 to 32. Perfect! You can also create a new style from scratch. How about a new heading? Just click the tiny arrow here, the New Style button at the bottom, then enter a name for your style. You can choose any formatting you like. I'm going to go with a new font, size, bold, and this light brown. Click OK, close this, and not only is it applied to your document, It's in the list of styles too. It's amazing how easy it is to change the entire look and feel of your document just by using styles. Try experimenting, find something you like, or create your own.
I'm creating a checklist for an upcoming trip, and right now it looks a little boring, so I'd like to format it so that it has a bullet in front of each item. Adding bullets in Word 2010 is easy. All you have to do is select some text, and then click the Bullets command, which is in the paragraph group. You should now see some bullets on the left side of the text. If you decide you don't want bullets, click it again and they'll disappear. For more options, you can click the Bullets drop-down arrow. There are several different bullet types that you can choose from. You can also create a numbered list using the numbering command, and it also has a drop-down arrow so that you can change the numbering style. Since this is a checklist, I'd like to have an actual checkbox before each line. I don't see a bullet here that really looks like a checkbox, but luckily we can create one. Go to Define New Bullet, and then click Symbol. Now you can select any of these symbols to be your bullet. As you can see, there are a lot of different symbols to choose from, and you can also scroll down to see more. If you want, you can change the font, but the Wingdings font has a really big selection of symbols, so I'm just going to stick with that. Up here I see a box that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'll click OK. While I'm here, I think I'll customize it a little more. Click Font, and let's change the color of the bullet. I'm going to choose this dark red color because it'll match the headings in my document. And there they are. I like the way this looks, so I'm going to just go through each category and add these bullets to each one. And the new bullet now appears under the recently used bullets. This looks a lot more like a checklist now, but now I'm noticing something else that I'd like to change. There's a checkbox for freeze-dried meals. I'd actually like to list each meal individually while still keeping them grouped under freeze-dried meals. We can do this with a multi-level list. Place the insertion point at the end of one of the lines in the list and press Enter to start a new line. Then press the Tab key and it will move this line to the right, and then type a few lines of text. Now all of these lines are organized under the freeze-dried meals line. Then I can add each meal so that they're grouped under each day. And I'm just using the Tab key to move the lines to the right as needed. All of the meals are now in this mini outline, and this is called a multi-level list. You can change the formatting by selecting it and then clicking on the multi-level list command. And then select a style. Okay, I don't really like this formatting and it doesn't match the rest of the document, so I'm going to undo that, and I'm just going to manually change these bullets. Place the insertion point on one of the lines that you want to change, and then select a bullet type. And it changes all of the lines that are on that same level. We can do the same thing for the days of the week. Let's choose a numbered list for this one. There, this looks better. Now we have a nice, organized checklist for our camping trip. My trivia night flyer is almost done. It just needs one final touch: pictures. Word offers a couple of different ways of adding pictures, and if you go to the Insert tab, you have an option to insert a picture from a file or insert clip art. And I'm going to add some clip art first. When you click on this, a task pane opens up, and this is where you'll search for the clip art. Since this is a trivia night, I think some kind of picture that has question marks might look good. Here you can choose which types of media it will search for. I'm going to check illustrations and photographs. And then click out of that. I'm going to leave this checked so it'll search office.com in addition to the built-in clip art. And click Go. And this gives me a lot of results, so I'll just scroll down until I see something that I like. Okay, this one's perfect. If I click on it, it'll appear in the document. By default, pictures are set to be in line with text. That setting may be fine in some cases, but it's not going to work in this document because I won't be able to move it exactly where I want. Right-click the image and go to Wrap Text. And I'm going to select In Front of Text. And now I can move it wherever I want. Just like with shapes, you can use the handles to change the size. Now it's covering up this word art, so I'm going to right-click it and go to Send Backward. Now I don't want to go to Send to Back or Send Behind Text because I still want it to be in front of everything else. I just want to move it backward one level. Perfect. Sometimes you may have a specific picture on your computer that you want to use, and to do that, just go to Insert and Picture. Navigate to the folder where your file is, and select your file, and then click Insert. Just like with the clip art, the picture is set to be in line with text. And for this one, I'd actually like to wrap the text around it. So I'll right-click it, go to Wrap Text, and I'll choose Square. Now I can just move the picture around until the text is wrapping the way I want it to. I think this flyer is done now, so I'm just going to proofread it one last time, and then I'll be ready to print it. If you're using photographs in your documents, you'll probably want to make them look as good as possible. Word has some very powerful features that will let you do this. First, click on your picture, and the Format tab will appear. Let's start by cropping the picture. Click the Crop command, and you should now see some black handles around the edge of the picture. You'll need to put your mouse right over these handles, and if you're a little bit off, you may accidentally grab one of the resizing handles. Click and drag, and the parts that are going to be cropped out are kind of a dark gray. When you're done, you can click the Crop command again, or you can just press Enter. Just below the Crop command is a drop-down arrow, and if you go down to Crop to Shape, you can choose what type of shape you want your picture to be. I think I'll choose a rounded rectangle. With some photographs, you'll need to make adjustments, and these commands can be found in the Adjust group. If you go to Corrections, you can sharpen or soften the image, and you can also adjust the brightness and contrast. And as you hover over each one, you'll be able to see a live preview of it in the document. I think this one looks good. You can also adjust the color. You can change the saturation, the color tone, which controls how warm or cool the colors appear, and you can also recolor the image. But for this picture, I'm just going to adjust the color tone. Finally, you can add an artistic effect. Now, you probably don't want to add one to every single picture, but sometimes you may want to use them to spice up your document. Depending on what your picture looks like, some of the effects may look better than others, so just hover over some of them until you find one that looks good. Word also has a lot of different picture styles that are built in, and these are a great way to quickly change the appearance of your picture. Before you send out your document, you may want to compress your pictures, and this is also found in the Adjust group. Compressing pictures will make the file size smaller, so your document will be easier to email or post on the web. And there's an option to delete cropped areas of pictures. When you crop a picture, it doesn't actually delete anything from the file, it just hides the cropped areas. So even though you're not using those areas, they're still taking up space in the file. You can delete them by checking this option. You can also change the resolution. The email setting has the lowest resolution, so that means it'll have the smallest possible file size. And then click OK. You may have noticed that the picture adjusted a little bit, and that's because compression lowers the quality of the picture. So there is a trade-off, and you'll just have to decide whether you want to go with a higher quality or a lower file size. Word 2010 has a great feature called background removal, which can automatically remove parts of the picture that you don't want. This can give your pictures a cleaner appearance, and if it's a document you're going to be printing, it can also save ink. To get started, click on the picture and then go to the Format tab, and then select the Remove Background command. And don't worry if it doesn't look good yet, because we're going to adjust it. The first thing you should do is drag these selection handles so that the foreground areas of the picture are all inside the box. Once you do that, Word will automatically readjust the image. Right now the background areas are marked with kind of a magenta or purple color, but when we're done, those areas will be removed completely. Now with some pictures, Word needs a little bit of help deciding which areas to remove and which areas to keep. In this picture, there are a couple of problems. The woman's hand and the girl's fingers are marked as background, so we need to tell Word to keep those areas in the picture. Click Mark Areas to Keep, and then click and drag to create a line somewhere in the middle of this area, and Word will readjust the picture. But now it's including part of the background as well, so we need to mark this area to remove. That looks better. Go through the image and add markings wherever they're needed. And if you make a mistake, just click Delete Mark and then click on the mark and it'll disappear. Okay, it looks like our foreground subjects are good and the entire background is magenta, so the last step is just to click Keep Changes. And that's it. Since the background has been cut out, anything that's behind this picture will now show through, so if you want, you can give it a new background by putting a shape or picture behind it. And at any time, if you see something that you've missed, you can always edit the picture again by clicking on it and going back